All right, I am definitely live. How's it going, everyone? How you doing tonight? It's Friday. It's the 27th of July. Mission Impossible Fallout just came out, as well as The Spy Who Dumped Me and Teen Titans Go to the Movies. It's the last weekend of July, which effectively means that after this weekend, the summer Hollywood box office season is in fact over, and that's an interesting thing given what we saw today. What's going on, everyone? How y'all doing? It's a bit late here in Indiana. John, it's only midnight in Indiana. It's I think I don't know what the time zone is over there. Teen Titan Go to the polls. Yeah, no, let's totally forgot to make Underhaven here a mod. So let's see here. What's up? Can't wait for Star Wars Episode 9. You know, Joshua, here's the deal, man. It's like I did not care for Episode 8, and I've been very vocal about my disdain for Episode 8. And this news today got me excited. It got me legitimately excited. And that has good night, John. Thanks for coming in, man. You know, it gets me excited simply because we are able to look at it and go, they legitimately are trying to correct course, right? Like, I know people out there are going to be like, it's just pandering. It's just pandering. The pandemonium of the Star Wars is pandering. And like, maybe it is. Maybe it's pandering. Maybe it's pandering. But let me ask you an honest question. Do you fucking care? After The Last Jedi, after that, do you give a fuck if they pander a little bit? I don't. I not at all. I'll tell you why I don't. I don't care if they pander. I don't care if they pander because I feel deep down in my gullet that that they need to in order to get people back. There's nothing wrong with playing into nostalgia. There's nothing wrong with enjoying you know, that there's nothing wrong with giving the fans what they want, right? There, you know, clearly there's been a divide after The Last Jedi. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like, that's the whole thing, is you got to give the fans what they want, and the fans want nostalgia. They want the hero's journey. They want that story. We're kind of getting a bit of that here. Maybe, I don't know if we're going to get a lot, but we're getting a little bit, right? We're getting a little bit, and that's all I care for. Colored video. I know. I for some reason the Logitech C920 is just like on I have a 32-inch curved monitor and it looks like ass on it. So if it's small wherever you're watching, it probably looks okay. It probably looks all right. I mean, it looks okay. It's see if I could fuck with the settings a little bit. I really you know, I'm so used to using my Canon. I just don't want to use my Canon right now. Okay, let's I'm just fucking with it a little bit here. Exposure, drop that a bit. That's a lot. All right. Well, the gain can be fine. Auto gain. Brightness. It's whoa, what the fuck? My mouth was like a vagina. Anyway. Hold on. I was playing the settings. Color intensity. I like the black and that's fucking weird. Contrast. See, it's all weird, man. That's okay. We'll go with that. That's fine. At least it's a little bit more defined. Justin, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Justin is one of the mods in the Discord. He's a good dude. You all should go and worship him because he puts a lot of work in. He does a lot of work. Rip Luke Skywalker. I'm telling you, they're going to they're going to end up probably unkilling Luke Skywalker. Like, he's not going to be dead. It's going to be like, if he is dead, if he's truly dead, what Rey is going to find in those books is going to have the ability to go and rescue him. I thought about this after I got done recording my video earlier, and that would be how in Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Jack Sparrow gets eaten by the Kraken, and they have to go to the land of the dead in order to rescue him. Right? So what they do is they go to the land of whatever the fuck, you know, the midichlorians, and they go and they find Luke's spirit, and they bring him back using some old Jedi trick, you know? So that's a thought. That's a thought, right? You never know. You never really know. But that's an idea though. That's an idea that could happen. It could happen in regards to this because they are trying to write themselves out of a hole. You can tell they are trying to write themselves very much out of this position that Ryan Johnson put them in. And I you know, like I find the whole thing to be fascinating because you can tell with this announcement like what they're going to do, and that to me speaks wonders. Let's see here. The only reason why Star Wars can be saved is episode 7 and 8 are both declared fever dreams. See, the thing is, episode 7 wasn't bad. Episode 7, I went back and I rewatched it again recently, and I still really like episode 7. I think Force Awakens, yeah, it played it a bit safe, and then I think fans complained, which is why episode 8 went to the way that it did, to be honest. And then I think they're like, too far. But no, The Force Awakens is a fun movie. It has its problems. Every movie has its problems, but it's a fun movie. You know, it sets up it sets up the universe. Okay, so it gradually reintroduces us to the universe that we haven't really been in for over 30 years. With these characters, with new characters, setting up where things have been, and it's doing it in a way that, you know, got there. And then it set up all these plot threads for what's going to be coming down the pipeline, setting up the mythology of Rey, setting up the mythology of Kylo. What are the Knights of Ren? Who is Captain Phasma? Why is she a badass? There were all of these things that were put out there. And as a result of that, we got none of them really completed outside of like, oh, Rey's parents are junkrats who have found themselves in a pauper's grave, right? And I like that was about it. Like, oh, they sold her off for booze money, and they wound up both dead in a shallow ditch, like, you know. But oh, that little boy with the broom, you know, that little boy with the broom at the end of the movie, right? That little slave boy that Rose Tico so naturally just looked away from, right? Oh, the little boy's in trouble. I'm gonna go save these giant floppy-eared cat dogs, you know. There's that. So. But I'm telling you, like, I feel they're on the right track here. So, let's see here. Han's death was heresy, and you aren't a Star Wars fan. Come on, that is kind of horseshit. That's horseshit. Characters can die. That's okay, right? And I know. I can't sit there and bitch about Luke Skywalker's death and then be all like, "Well, Han died. It was all right." But Han's death served a purpose. Han's death was that moment where, you know, Kylo gave into those impulses, gave into those emotions. He did what Luke would not do, right? At the end of Empire. And then what we saw from Luke is that Luke went to the brink again in Jedi, but again, nothing was properly explained. You know, we never got to see the training. We never got to see Kylo start to turn. It was all told to us and never shown to us, where at least in regards to Kylo killing Han, we at least understood based upon the themes previously set in the series by dealing with sons and their fathers. You know, Anakin and Luke, and Anakin and Obi-Wan effectively, and even Luke and Obi-Wan to an extent. You know, there's reasons why Kylo made that comment to Rey about father figures in Han and another father figure in Luke, what Rey was looking for. That thematically, fatherlessness is a big issue, or absentee fathers is a big issue in Star Wars. And so I think, you know, getting a bit more of exposition, so to speak, would be a lot better. It wasn't handled. No, his death wasn't handled in the worst possible way. It wasn't. It was actually handled in a very, it made sense the way that it was handled. Again, events in Star Wars are cyclical, right? Time is cyclical. Like that's been also a running theme. I'm sorry, you are seriously disattaching your own opinions and theories to this, and they're just not accurate. Let's see. What should you do with this clone of Carrie Fisher? I guess that depends on what age of the clone of Carrie Fisher. Is that I don't know. Are you the only person that Star Wars is using too much references to parallels in their material? No, you're not. You're not. A lot of people think that way, but they also intentionally do that too, which is they probably need to find a way to get away from that a bit, which is why I think they went with Rogue One, which was a parallel, but also different in its approach. And then of course Solo was entirely different, and people just didn't really seem to flock to that, even though I think the movie's going to do very well on home video. Let's see here. Am I going to attend Star Wars Celebration? I am hoping to. It is sold out. I am waiting to I check back every so often to put in for media passes so I can cover it for media. And then of course it's getting out to Chicago, which is where I think it's at. And then the week after Celebration is a free speech event that I guess I'm scheduled to speak at in Arizona. If that's a tentative thing at this point, I'm waiting to get more details. So it's going to be a lot of traveling that week. I'll see if I can be able to pull it off. If I have to pick one over the other, I'm picking Star Wars over the other event. Let's see. We need to see a Star Wars crossover with Spaceballs. 100% agree. Do I think that we will see the Force Ghosts at the end? I think we will. I think JJ is going to wrap things up in a nice, neat little bow, to be honest with you. I really do. I think he's going to wrap things up in a nice, neat little bow. Let's see. $10 Australian here from Thomas Carroll says, if Disney refuses to incorporate the archetypal, archetypal back into the new films and continues to pump them with social justice, then no, they can't be saved. Okay. So here's the thing with that though. Like, I see what you're saying, but I also kind of want to give you a little bit of pushback. Just because something features a non-white male character does not mean that it's full of social justice, right? Like, social justice requires a very specific intention. Like, Rey is not a social justice warrior creation. Some might argue the Mary Sue thing, if you want to say that. I still don't believe she's a Mary Sue. However, Daisy Ridley's own comments have made that very hard to defend, by the way. But even in the case of Jyn Erso is then, it's not like this was created with this stuff in mind. All of these women characters, these characters were written by men. Now the Canto Bight and Rose Tico, that was definitely SJW, but that again is such a small part of the overall film. And even though it's a really terrible part in the movie, it completely stopped the movie dead in its tracks and it was god awful. Overall, SJW themes are not present in the movie, right? At no point in The Force Awakens did anyone say to Rey, you can't do this, you're a girl. If they would have said that, I would have given you that particular thing. Now, did they treat her as overcompetent and maybe a little bit OP? Yeah, okay, fine. I'll give you a bit of that. We needed more backstory with Rey on Jakku. We needed to see more backstory with Rey dealing with certain problems and everything else that she would overcome. That's how I would view that. Then what you've got is, again, looking at the characters here, there's not a lot of SJW stuff. Now, it teeters on the edge in a few instances, but as for actually being there, no. I think people who go into it saying that are really just looking at the people who are commenting on Star Wars and applying that logic to it. And we see this a lot. We saw this a lot with, like, let's say Gamergate, for example, where you would have the journalists say, oh, anyone who wants ethics in games journalists is a right-wing, mega conservative, white supremacist, ethno-state loving, motherfucking degenerate, deplorable piece of shit douchebag, right? You would get a lot of that. And you're like, that's not true. And then, of course, on the other side, you see maybe a cranehead feminist author penning an article about how, like, the Force is feminism or some shit like that. And you're like, look, I know that's not true. But then she attacks, the people who are critical of that, and they label them as sexist. That's not the writers or the filmmakers. And so much of that particular opinion gets thrust onto the filmmakers. Now, I will say the Lando pansexual thing was pretty dumb. I get what they were trying to do, what they were trying to say. But if you also go back to that article, that wasn't Jonathan Kasdan's word. That wasn't his word. It was fed to him, right? So he answered it without clarifying it. He gave into what they were trying to say using the terminology of pan, but he's not the one that initiated that conversation. He just merely answered it to the best of his ability without giving any kind of pushback, and it kind of spiraled out of control. So you have to look and see where the type of information is coming from, who's pushing the information, and ultimately what their agenda is. Do they love Star Wars? Do they hate Star Wars? Are they trying to get clicks? And there are people on both sides of this debate that do that, right? That are completely, doing that. Like, look at the whole Solo thing. I can't help but roll my eyes every time I saw that pop up in a thing. I thought it was so stupid. I'm like, oh, I get the joke, but at the same time, it's like people were like legitimately running with that as if it was a real thing. And I'm like, That's kind of SJW tactics, but on the right. You know what I mean? Like it goes both ways, and people need to sit there and realize that it's not the filmmakers in every instance. A lot of it is also the press. Now, I will argue that Rian Johnson does spend a lot of time giving into the press, right? Like I made that comment to him. If he ever wanted to discuss Gamergate, I'd be open to discuss it. And after 6 years of criticizing Anita Sarkeesian and her only ever so often giving me an actual like a nod that she knows that I exist, which she does, she screen capped it and then called me out publicly on her Twitter, like, because I got under her fucking skin because I made the attempt to reach out to Rian Johnson to clarify a lot of misnomers that the media had portrayed. And so that plays into a lot of this here. That plays into a lot of what's going on. So we need to remember, though, that there's always going to be a source. There's always going to be an intent, and you're going to have to try to navigate through that. So it says, Creamy Caesar here, $5 says, why is nobody talking about Chewbacca? Where is his head at after standing by and do nothing while he watches Kylo murder Han? Porg wrangling. You know what, Creamy? I agree with you, man. I agree. I think Chewbacca has got he's got to deal with some of that shit. You know, we did that was a big problem. That was a big problem with the Last Jedi. Is Chewbacca never got he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in the whole movie. Oh, he wrangled some porgs. Whoop-de-doo. No, you have a good point there. That's a good point. And here's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I argued that the funeral scene in The Last Jedi was so pivotal to the story. It was so pivotal to kicking off that next chapter, because we didn't as fans get time to mourn Han's death. The cast members, the characters should say, sorry, they didn't get time to mourn Han's death. So I figured it would be in the movie. It would be the next thing. It would start off with saying goodbye. And then shit hits the fan. And I think that's what fans wanted. But what did we get instead? We got the slowest fucking chase in all of the goddamn universe. Right. And the funeral scene was in I think it was in like chapter 1 of the book or something. Again, it's just ridiculous shit. It's absolutely ridiculous stuff. So you're more hyped for Clone Wars in episode 9. Clone Wars is going to be dope. And it's going to come out right before episode 9. It's going to actually be leading into episode 9. Let's see. Disney gets to write episode 4 with the Fox deal. Not just episode 4, but all the other ones too. And so we're going to see 4K remasters of everything. I guarantee you they're going to put them back in theaters, 4K remaster, 4K DVD or 4K digital file. I got a 4K TV. I will get a whole new sound system for that shit. I'm excited for that one. Yes, I'm hoping to go to Star Wars Celebration. I'm hoping to go. Kylo is Chewie's nephew. You know, Jesse, you're not entirely wrong if you think about it from from simply a family situation. So you don't think episode 9 will save anything? See, Simon, I'd like to ask you why. Legitimately, I'm curious as to why you think it won't. What's the thoughts on Teen Titans? I don't watch Teen Titans. I don't watch any of that shit. I know that there was a trailer that was at the end of the movie. Somebody told me that last night. So if that's a spoiler, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But good for them, I guess. I think the animation looks like ass. And the movie's getting pretty shredded. So there's that. You shouldn't have to read a book to get more enjoyment out of The Last Jedi. I completely agree. Never mind, they also fuck around with their own canon. Let's see. You'd like to see Chewbacca kill Kylo? Yeah, I'd like to see that too. I think it'd be really good to see Chewbacca take out Kylo, but I don't think we're gonna get that. Okay, hold on. Let me take a drink of water here, and I'll read what Fanboy says. All right, so he says the answer is yes. Star Wars can be saved. Cut canon and start over. I don't care if it costs more money for this. They started this. They need to fix it. Well, here's the thing. We have to look at this pragmatically, right? And I know on the internet, trying to argue pragmatism is definitely never going to work in its entirety, but they're not going to go back and redo The Last Jedi. They're not going to go back and redo Force Awakens. The whatever episode 9 is might retcon a couple little things as a way of course correction, right? And that would be the smarter play. Because if they went back and they undid everything that they did before, then there's going to be a lot of angry people out there. But if they do slight course corrections, then it's going to be able to kind of navigate it a little bit better. So I think that's going to be more what we're going to see here. The Last Jedi declared the books being irrelevant. A little bit, Wheezy Bird, a little bit. The only thing worse than Ryan Johnson saying "fuck you, this is my movie" is that Disney let him do it. Well, it's Kathleen Kennedy, but yeah, ultimately they signed off on that shit. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, David Conway? How are you, buddy? Nitron just spam Clone Wars. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Christian says, I've only seen The Last Jedi one time. I've only seen it twice, but I bought it when it came out. I like to have collections. Episode 7 destroyed the story of Star Wars. Episode 8 destroyed the FISO, the story, is that the fuck out of Star Wars? I don't see, episode 7 didn't destroy the story of Star Wars. It kept it going, but it showed you that there's always going to be problems. And they just didn't see them coming, kind of similar to how the Jedi didn't see the Sith coming. They were arrogant, and Luke made that comment in episode 8, which I will say there is a couple little moments in there that I do think ultimately like tie into the grander narrative, but still story problems that movie. You stole Chewbacca when he wasn't looking. That's good. Reinstate the expanded universe. You don't care about discount Jason Solo. A lot of people, Sean, they want to see the EU come back. I think ultimately we're going to see a lot of it come back. Who would I like to replace Kathleen Kennedy? I know everyone says Dave Filoni, but what you need is someone to navigate the business side of it as well as a creative. Filoni is a creative. I don't know how he would be as in terms of an executive. I would say ultimately, I'd like to see like someone like Kevin Feige coming in there. Who's the guy? Fuck me. What is it? Oh man, like trying to think of who would be a good executive to take over. Honestly, whoever's fucking running Universal right now, whoever that is, Universal's doing a good job with their franchises. And I would argue that person would be open to the creative side expanding as well as knowing how to run an efficient franchise tentpole making machine. I would go with that. Would I like to see Spielberg direct a Star Wars movie? Oh, I would cream in my pants if he directed a Star Wars movie. Although all things considered, I heard he directed, he was heavily involved in episode 3. From what I hear, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard. And episode 3 is by far the best one of all of the prequel trilogy. Simon Kinberg to run Lucasfilm. No. Let's be realistic about this one. Okay. X-Men Dark Phoenix is coming up bupkis because Simon Kinberg wrote it and directed it. Kinberg also wrote Fan 4 Stick. He did write, though, Days of Future Past. And he's worked quite a bit on Star Wars Rebels. He's got his fingers and toes and multiple little things, which works out for Kinberg. I don't hate the guy. I think he's a decent enough writer, but I want to keep him in the creative. I don't want him being a director or an executive. I think he'd be fine in the producer role. Do I think a way of regaining fan trust at Celebration will be the reveal of Marvel-esque roadmap of films? Yes. And that's where the Game of Thrones guys come into play. 100%. That's where the Game of Thrones guys come into play. DB Weiss and David Benioff I think they're going to be the ones to make Star Wars great again. I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. And the reason why I say that is because they're going to be the ones that are going to 100% be able to develop the type of story that's going to carry off on a roadmap. They're going to be able to play the long game, to set up a mythology, set up characters that we care about, that we grow with. And that's going to be what we want. That is ultimately what we want. Let's be fair. We want characters we've grown up with to do the character things that we've watched them grow up with. There's that fan gif of like showing, Luke, Han, and Chewie back to back getting ready to battle. And it's like, this is what fans wanted. And I think under J.J. Abrams, we would have gotten at least 2/3 of that. Chewie and Luke, I think that would have been it. I think that would have been okay. But I under Ryan Johnson, and I don't know. You're not talking about remaking those movies, you're talking about doing different versions of the sequel trilogy. They're not going to do that, fanboy. That's like so much money. So you have to think to the future past this trilogy. That's where things are going to be changed up, I think. No one can talk about Johnson's trilogy. I don't even know if that's going to be on the table anymore, to be honest with you. Like, I don't. Hold on? Let me take a look here and see DVD sales. Look here. Okay, the numbers. Let's see here. The Last Jedi, motherfucker. Hold on, it's bringing it up right now. Okay. Come on, give me a search. All right, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Home video sales. Video sales here. All right. So far in home video sales, it has sold $84 million in home video sales. not including digital, but that is just DVD is 14 million and 70 million in Blu-ray sales. Where I think in the first month or something like that, so it came out the first week of April, and then by the first week of May, it had dropped from first place to seventh place on DVDs. And then in that same time span for Blu-rays, it dropped from first to fifth. So I mean, it dropped from one, it dropped down to like it dropped down to 5 digits in the fourth, fifth, and sixth weeks. So yeah, it's done okay. But let's compare. Let me bring that up compared to the Force Awakens in that time period, if I can even get a whatever, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens here. Okay, Force Awakens home video sales 189 million. Now, granted, we've had a couple years, so that is going to clearly be different there. But in the first, it had about similar numbers in terms of no. In Blu-ray, it outsold. Blu-ray fucking outsold that motherfucker, man. Holy shit, Blu-ray outsold that shit. We're talking the first 5 weeks. We were still in 6 digits for Blu-ray on Force Awakens. So yeah, 3.4 million purchases on Blu-ray the first week alone for Force Awakens, where on The Last Jedi was like I think it was like 1.9. So still, it's like 1.5 million more units sold from Force Awakens to The Last Jedi. That should not have happened. So they're clearly, it's not doing as well on home video. It's still, it's not doing terrible, but it's not doing, I think, as good as they wanted to be honest with you. So Amy Pascal takes over Lucasfilm. Oh God, that could happen. Honest to God, that could happen. If Kathleen Kennedy is given a choice and Spider-Man, I don't know. I don't know. Amy as Spider-Man, I don't know if she want to leave Spider-Man behind, but she might. Okay. So you think, okay, Cracker here says, I think we're still getting Ryan's movies, but they'll be animated if Teen Titans and Spider-Man make money. Okay. Well, Teen Titans, maybe. But, Dead Schooled here says, and I'm directly quoting him, Last Jedi fans are like Holocaust deniers. That's cute. What am I drinking? I'm drinking water with one of those little flavor packets in it. So you're burnt out. I don't know. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is gonna fucking own this winter. I think that's gonna kick some serious ass. I think that's gonna be great. The MCU version of Spider-Man is ruined forever. Oh, shut up, Don. You were whatever, man. Do I think episode 9 is flopping right now? No, I don't. I think episode 9 is going to be great, man. Like it restored a lot of my faith in it. It did. It restored a lot of my faith because it proved exactly what I was calling. And I had already called this before in videos that Mark Hamill was going to be back. He was trolling everyone by saying he was unemployed on Twitter. He's made a lot of jokes about it. He's also shit talked The Last Jedi enough where he probably wants to come back and give the character some arc. I'm pretty certain we're going to use the same kind of Force, non-canon stuff from the Jedi path in order to find a way to bring Luke Skywalker back from the dead. If he even died, he could have just force teleported to some fucking temple somewhere. Yoda could have transported him. Who knows? Who knows what they're gonna say? And you know what? If it's done in a way that doesn't come across as like utterly hokey, I'm on board. And I think Chris Terrio I think they're bringing in an Oscar-winning screenwriter. Dude who penned a Best Picture film to write Star Wars. That's telling you something. They're not relying on Lawrence Kasdan. It's JJ's bringing in the big guns, and I think Kasdan did a good job on Solo, and I think he did a good job on The Force Awakens. But I'm curious to see what happens here. Okay, let's see. You're gonna wait for 2 weeks before you buy tickets. Yeah, that's cool, man. If you want to wait 2 weeks, I'm going day one, hands down. If Mark Hamill reprises his role as a Joker to taunt Kylo Ren, that would be funny. If he plays like a Telltale Heart situation, he like the ghost instead of hanging out with Rey ends up trolling Kylo. It'd be pretty funny. Like Kylo, put your shirt on. What are you, Ben Swolo? That would just be lame, but at the same time, be kind of funny. So why is he clean shaven? He's clean shaven because he's I think he's going to be like, I think they're going to put him in something. But they don't start shooting till the end of the week or to the end of the month. Or well, no, we're at the end of the month. So I don't know. I mean, he may be growing. He may not have to be on set for a while and needs like a little bit of a beard. Let's see here. You quit Movie Pass. I'm tempted to quit Movie Pass. I was going to use it tonight to go see Mission Impossible. I couldn't get there in time. What have they done to earn my opening weekend ticket? Well, I'm going to go see any Star Wars movie opening weekend regardless. I'll bitch about the last one. I'm still going to go see the new one. I'm part of the problem. I have no issue at all admitting that. I have none. I don't care. I like to go to the movies for one. I like to go to preview screenings. Two. It's Star Wars 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's that. Even if Marvel had a dud, I would still go see the next one. Right? I would go see it opening weekend anyway, dude. I have to review these movies. I have to review these movies as part of what I do. I haven't gone to the theater much recently because it's hard with the kid to get out of the house to go see movies and shit, but I still have to go review movies. This is a movie news channel. I review stuff on here. So if I don't go see it, I'm not really doing my job, but at the same time, it's Star Wars. I'm gonna go see it. So I have my personal justification and my professional justification. Maybe Luke finally finds a space razor. Yeah, maybe. So I'm reminded of what the CEO of Marvel Studios said when asked what his secret was to success of the MCU. He said the trick is to stay tuned with the fans, stay grounded. Exactly, General Jimmy's. Exactly, 100%. And that's the big problem here is that, like, I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy doesn't like Star Wars. I have a feeling she's not a huge fan of it. I have a feeling subconsciously she wants out, or consciously at this point. Rian Johnson claims that Star Wars is personal to him, but clearly it's just getting into a sandbox and playing with his own toys versus trying to like bring the audience with him. So that's a big problem. But I want to know about that though, is why in God's name are all the critics sucking his dick? Right? Like, why were they all sucking his dick over the movie? This is the best Star Wars movie ever. It's subverted all expectations. Blah, blah. Like, why? What? Like, I don't get that personally. Let's see here. A Luke Skywalker focused solo film or video game tie-in between episodes 6 and 7. I'd like to see Sebastian Stan play Luke after Empire Strikes or Return of the Jedi, right? Like I think the Jon Favreau show that he's working on for Disney streaming service, or Disney Direct is what they're calling it now. What he's doing with that, I think, is going to end up being a thing. I think if they want to do that right, they will bring in Luke Skywalker in that show and be in the Resistance or whatever it is now, the New Republic, and then have Sebastian Stan, who I don't know if he has a contract post the next Avengers movie, and then get him in there as a younger Luke Skywalker. And I think he would look the part. I think he'd play it well, and I think fans would actually be okay with that. And I actually ran into I talked to a guy I know today. He owns a pretty popular movie website. I won't say who it is because I don't want to give away his info, but he hit me up and he said he just got out of a meeting with Ewan McGregor, and that Ewan McGregor has a beard, hasn't shaved his beard, and looking a little like Obi-Wan. So he seemed excited that we're going to get the announcement about an Obi-Wan movie. Let's see here. The Millennium Falcon actually appeared in Spaceballs. Really? Did it? Let's see here. They sucked off Ryan because Disney sucks them off. No, Edgy, they really don't. No, they don't. Go look up Disney boycotting the LA Times or banning the LA Times from going to see review early press screenings of films, and then watch everyone turn on Disney for that. That's not the case at all. So because all those studio lackeys are sycophants, maybe. Breezy Bird says, I love the Spider-Man movie to kick ass in the box office. More action animation movies would be great. I completely agree. I'd love to see that. Any chance of Stan as Luke were Dash of how Solo performed? Not if they do it on the small screen. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think Disney realizes that they're in this weird shift, right? So Star Wars movies ultimately work really well when they are event films, right? Episodes and whatnot. That's why they're going to set this trilogy with Rian Johnson if they do it, or the series from the Game of Thrones guys. That's going to be, they're I think they're going to be working more on that. I know they are doing the Boba Fett movie with James Mangold. I do think he'd be better off. I think he'd be better served going over to Obi-Wan, to be honest with you. I do think that. But at the same time, they also realize that small screen streaming is where a lot of this stuff is going to be. And with that deal getting approved today, the $71.3 billion, They're going to be able to get control of Hulu. They might just then spend out the extra money to buy out the rest of the shares from fucking NBC and ABC, which at that point they're going to have a controlling stake, so they could easily buy out those guys. Then they gain control of Hulu and they basically force everyone else to play by their rules or to go find another service, which would be their own deal if they decided to do that. And then if they want to make Disney Direct as a connection to Hulu, kind of similar to how you can get HBO Go with that, that'd be a way to get into that shit. And then they start offering up Star Wars content on Disney Direct, and people would go to it. People would flock to it. They would flock to it. Remember, they need 32 million monthly users, monthly memberships. This is the estimate for Disney Direct to be profitable. And now they're going to control roughly 2/5 of the entire studio system. And they're going to have control over Hulu, and they're creating a Netflix competitor. So Disney understands that when it comes to the future of entertainment, so to speak, movies are one thing, but streaming can't also be ignored. And I think they're going to spend a lot of time on that one. Sorry. Yes, I totally spaced up on Disney owns ABC. Thank you very much for, yeah, I did. I spaced on that. I was thinking, who else is on there? It's NBC, ABC, no more CW. That's all over on Netflix now. That's the deals that they got on Netflix. That's about it. I think there's some Comedy Central stuff. Yeah. I mean, ABC Freeform, but that's ABC. So, by now, okay, Emperor Caligula here says, by now, nothing but a retcon of the sequel story will make me interested in Star Wars again. The story setup just doesn't interest me at all. And you have a point there. It does recycle old points. I liked it. Because I could see what JJ was building to, what he was trying to build up to. Whereas what they did, with The Last Jedi, I think just really hurt things. So I think that's going to be that's going to be a problem. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of shit going on with it. I think they need to work on a lot of stuff, but I have a feeling that we're going to be we're going to end up being okay overall, I think. Let's see here. Okay, so you hate Spider-Gwen. It's like if Martha Wayne was Batwoman. Some character should remain dead, whatever. I don't know much about Spider-Gwen, but they're gonna make her a household name, guaranteed. Supreme Croc here says, I love Force Awakens, but RJ ruined it. I don't think, I mean, he heard it, man. Like he definitely heard it. Darth Vader versus Darth Maul lightsaber would be sick in the Obi-Wan movie. That would be dope. But then that would be dope. I'd be okay with that. I mean, keep in mind, if they tie Boba Fett to Solo, which I think they will, and they tie that into whatever the fuck it is that Maul is up to, and I think they will, if it ever happens. I think it's going to be dope. Like, I think it's going to be cool, man. I think it's going to be okay. I think if they have to really nail the story though. The problem with it is when Star Wars has successes, they carry some serious weight. When Star Wars has some failures, man, it goes on for a while. Hey Ivan, what's up, man? What's my thoughts on Luke coming back? I called it for one. I called he'd be coming back because they have to at this point. Now I don't know if I personally think he's not going to be a Force ghost. I think they're going to find a way, very similar to how Rian Johnson pulled that Force doppelganger out of his ass. I think they're going to find a way to bring him back, and make him, make him whole or some shit like that. But if he's a Force ghost, then he'll be like Obi-Wan with Luke and shit. I think that's going to be, again, it will tie into the cyclical nature of the franchise, but it needed to happen. It needed to happen, and I think that's okay. I think that's pretty good. Ray stole those books. She's learning how to bring Luke back. Rory Vandekamp, do we have confirmation of that at all? Is that in any of those books? Did you know that? So let's see here. You'd rather play, okay, hold on. Someone says here. Shit. Okay. So, Thank you very much, Mr. Hardy. Appreciate that. So Kung Fu Chief says, I'd rather play it safe than risk alienating fans again. If episode 9 fails as hard as episode 8, Star Wars is dead to too many people. And you know what? You're not wrong. Like I think if episode 9 fails as fundamentally spectacularly as The Last Jedi did in regards to expectations versus execution, right? Because I think we all can agree that visually, The Last Jedi is stunning. Visually, it's stunning, but it's everything else in the middle of that doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, I think if it fails as bad as that does, it's gonna be pretty bad. Oh, Ray was reading the Jedi book. I haven't read the comics. Yeah, I need to. Star Wars Episode 9 meets Twilight. It does kind of feel that way, doesn't it? Will we ever see a Yoda film? The answer to that is probably not, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with there being a Yoda film. Now, if there was like a Yoda streaming series or something, again, I'm heavily leaning towards the streaming service side of things. I think if we were given the opportunity to see these stories play out in long form, we would have a better love of them. It's getting harder and harder and harder in some of these cases to tell these compelling, visually stimulating stories in a 2-hour window. I mean, look at Justice League, right? You know, the guy who runs Warner Brothers, hard limit 2-hour cut, hard 2-hour cut, right? And we know that Batman v Superman suffered from a lot of exposition loss as a result of cutting it down to 2.5 hours versus its 3-hour runtime. And I understand why they wanted to do it, but in the case of Justice League, they chopped that shit down to 2 fucking hours because they wanted to get it in an extra screening in order to make extra money, which ultimately failed because the movie itself wasn't very good. And that's a big problem with that, right? So you got to be very careful with like how these things go. Let's see. Heron Gaming News, $10 Canadian here. Thank you very much, sir. Says, how Disney can save Star Wars is if episode 8 was just a force vision while Luke was meditating. Luke should be broken due to his past mistakes and refuse to train Rey. You know what? The thing is, like with that, I think that I really do feel like you have a point there. I think that it should be a fever dream. Like it should be Finn's fever dream. Think about that one. Finn's fever dream. Here's this they would never do this. They would literally never do this. But if they ever did, if they ever wanted to sit there and find a way to tell the story and really just like like fuck with people, so to speak, what you got to do is go, well, episode 8 was really a fever dream, episode 9 is really episode 8, and then we're going to do episode 10, which is going to bookend the Skywalker saga. But then again, they can't do that because what would happen with Leia, right? What would happen with Leia? But I will say that there was a question, I think I missed it earlier, about Leia and bringing her old footage. They've done that. I said that in my video earlier. They did that with Paul Walker in regards to Fast and Furious 7. After he died, they used some unused footage to digitally insert him in there, as well as some stuff from previous films, right? There's actually a scene when they're in the gazebo in Abu Dhabi, when like Roman and Ludacris are talking about what's her name? The hacker, right? Xerxes, whatever her name is. And so like they're talking about her, and then like Paul Walker like does this laugh. Well, they took that, and this was like Weta who did this too. They took that from Fast and Furious 5 in the beginning of the movie, when Brian and Dom are talking outside about Mia. I think that's the same exact shot that they just like flipped it and they put it in there. And I've watched the Fast and Furious movies. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched Fast and Furious movies. I'm a pretty big fan. A pretty big fan there. Hold on, there was a super chat here by Miss Mercer Create. $2 here, says, what could episode 9 trailer include to get us on board? Okay, so for episode 9's trailer, in order to do its job, it's going to have to rely heavily, and I mean heavily, on nostalgia. We're talking, it's going to have to like, I mean, whatever score John Williams is using, we're going to have to like really like emulate probably, some of his older work, right? The original soundtrack, and like really pull from that. Although I will say this though, I was listening to a John Williams mix the other day, and the Last Jedi soundtrack came on, and I listened to it, and I was like, that's actually really tight. Like, I was surprised how good the soundtrack for episode 8 was. If anything good came out of that movie, it's clearly the soundtrack. I mean, John Williams' score being the last time has to be there. We have to see some familiar shit. It's gonna have to be like Endor. It's gonna have to be Tatooine. It's gonna have to be Hoth. I'm talking. They've got to pull out all the stops in terms of nostalgia. They've got to be pulling out like, oh, we're talking original locations. We're talking like the cantina on Mos Eisley. We're talking like fucking, I'm telling you, like the cantina on Mos Eisley is almost a fucking must at this point. Is Wedge Antilles alive? I don't remember if he is or not. If he is, bring back Wedge Antilles. Maybe not so much for the trailer, but like, we're gonna need to see some iconic shit. We're gonna need to see some iconic fights. We're gonna need to see a lightsaber battle. We're gonna need to see duels. We're gonna need to see action. We're going to need to see the Resistance building up, mounting an assault against the First Order to finally snuff it out and everything else. That's what it's going to have to do. Now, I will say this though. The Last Jedi marketing was really solid though, when they had the line from Rey saying, I just need someone to show me my place in all of this, which again is, I think, a sentiment many people can relate to. And then of course the trailer cut to Kylo holding out his hand, and granted those scenes aren't connected, but the way that they were cut together, my jaw hit the fucking floor. I'm like, oh no, and of course that's not how it implies what's going to happen in the movie, and it sold it in a very good way. But yeah, we're going to need to see like Lando. We're going to need to see Chewie. We're going to need to see the Falcon. We're going to need to see a shot of Leia. We're going to need to see Luke. We're going to need to see everybody in that first trailer. Maybe not the teaser, but when they do the first story trailer, probably at Star Wars Celebration next year, you're going to have to do that. They're going to have all that there, and then they're going to have to have a big panel on the Last or on whatever episode 9 is, and that's going to be the big thing. That's going to be that. Let's see. Heron Gaming News here, $5 Canadian, says, but Yoda, Anakin, and Obi-Wan come back as Force ghosts, and convince Luke to train Rey. Well, they didn't. They could, I guess, but would they get Hayden Christensen as the ghost? I still feel that was one of the worst things Lucas did, by the way. Yoda came back and kind of beat Luke's ass one more time, which I will admit, the fact that it was the original Empire Strikes Back puppet of Yoda was fucking awesome. The thing is, I really hate it. Like when I start putting it like the pros of the Last Jedi, it's all like the creative side of it was really good. The creative side was amazing. And then you get to the story, and that's where it's bad. There are some themes there that I did enjoy, but ultimately it wasn't very good. Wedge is played by Ewan McGregor's uncle. I did not know that. So you're thinking that Finn is Lando's son? That would be an interesting thing. I don't know if they would go that far, but that could make sense. Finn, Lando gets around. Lando gets around. He could have frozen his sperm in some droid that he deposited in somewhere. Who knows? Let's see here. You actually like the look of Doppelganger Luke, but he should have had his green lightsaber instead of the blue one. I agree. I agree. With the rights back at Disney, do I think they'll re-release the theatrical versions of the original trilogy? I do, yes. I don't know if they're going to do it in theaters, although I would love to see them do it in theaters. I know they're going to do a 4K remaster, and they might release that in theaters. I mean, if they did like an all-day event in an IMAX or something, where you could go see like episodes, 4, 5, and 6, and I would be there. Heartbeat, I would be there. Go see those in fucking 4K IMAX. It'd be awesome. I would be so happy. So if Rey and Kylo have a baby, you're leaving. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna fuck. Maybe they're gonna fuck. I can't say they're not gonna fuck, but they could fuck. They could fuck. It could happen. Lando will end up being Finn's dad. That could, if they're looking for a way to tie in some kind of like legacy birth, then it could be him. And then Finn just ended up getting sold into the First Order. So you would pay to see 4K original Star Wars? Yes, Forge, I would too. I would 100% pay to see that. I would go there in like 100% Star Wars fanboy attire, Star Wars hat, Star Wars shirt. I have a Boba Fett jersey. I'd rock that motherfucker. The action brick here says they might use force fuck. So powerful. which is kind of true, man. I mean, think about that for a second, right? When they were talking, when they were force projecting themselves or whatever the fuck it was, and they were able to touch hands, like had that continued on like that, Kylo would have looked at her and been like, "This just the tip, not just the tip, just touch it, just touch it. God, you never touch it, because that would happen. That would definitely happen." Let's see here. Okay, so Joshua Hughes says, also, I'd like there to be a big ground battle with soldiers and not too much focus on the battle in space. Also, they might as well attack the First Order droid-controlled hyperspace ships. Yeah, I mean, with how Holdo took everyone out at the end there, that's going to be a tactic, right? I guarantee you, like, that's going to be a tactic and shit. But I would like to see more ground forces. Space battles are cool, but the ground forces are where the art comes into play. Star Wars is saved. Get woke. Let's see here. You still think Rey and Kylo are related, despite what he told her in TLJ? He could have lied to her in order to kind of gaslight her, in order to get her to turn to his side, because that was the whole thing. He was all like join me and we'll fuck like rabbits. But that he's definitely he's not a giver in the sack. Like, Kylo Ren is very much like a first to finish sort of guy. And then, like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, I just, like, I'm really nervous. It's been a while, usually that black BB-8 droid is giving it to me behind the dumpster. No, Brian. Yeah, this is a real freaking, it's a real thing. I had it ordered. Yeah, it's a shower curtain. Blockbuster's gone, but Family Video is still doing strong. Nice. If there's one near you. Do I think they'll ever bring back Revan? That's what I want. That's what I want out of the DB Weiss, David Benioff thing, out of the Game of Thrones guys. I want the old Republic, right? Like, I think we all ultimately want the old Republic. There's only one Blockbuster left. Yeah, and it's a couple hundred miles away from me, and I'm gonna make the trip down there before they catch it, before they shut it down, if I can find out. Let's see. Luke will be reborn. He will become one with the Force, and all the Force Jedis will send Luke back in order to fulfill his destiny. If they can pull that off, sure, man. Why not? Revan for Clone Wars season 7. Yeah, but that was like 4,000 years beforehand and whatnot, right? What we need is Pelagus. We need Pelagus to be a thing. That's going to have to happen too. Kit Harington is Darth Revan. That could be okay. He's going to be out of work here pretty soon. To bring back Star Wars Episode 9 will have to be way better than TFA. Didn't hate TFA, just thought it was a little poor imagination on the locations and story plot lines. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, Timon. I don't think you're entirely wrong. Again, I found it to be a lot of fun, but that is valid criticism. Yes, it will need to definitely take itself to a different place, but at least if you think about it, Rian Johnson fucked up so badly in regards to The Last Jedi that people are more than happy to kind of go back to some of that original shit. Have I ever been to Vancouver? British Columbia, no. Washington, yes. Let's see here. Do I mind if you give Rian Johnson this chicken that sounds like a certain Looney Tune? Sure, I guess. Jon Snow is Revan, even the Sith are coming. Yeah. He can pull it off. I think whatever they do with if they do KOTOR, which they should totally do KOTOR. Thrawn movie, that'd be pretty cool. But Thrawn, not so much that Thrawn, like, if you want to make Thrawn work, you got to make Thrawn like part of the Solo setup, right? Like that timing and whatnot. Darth Revan appeared in deleted scene in Clone Wars. What? Did he? I didn't know that. It's fucking warm in my room. I have the fan on, but it's on low. You guys can probably hear it. I cleaned those damn bottles of water. Shit. Okay. You pinched Ranting Monkey's nipples. That's good for you. That is your journey, sir. Ed Evolution, I will try to be at Celebration. I don't quite know if I'll get there, but I will try to be there. I will definitely try. It's been a fun chat. Definitely been a fun chat. I'm probably going to close out in like about 15 minutes because I got to be up at like fucking 5 in the morning and everything else. So, oh, okay. See, I haven't finished. I got to finish watching Rebels. Not Rebels, the Clone Wars, and Rebels too. I've been trying to beat Fallout 4, and it's taking up a lot of my time, my free time. Am I excited for Captain Marvel, even with the mini controversy? I am willing to watch Captain Marvel. I'm going to check it out, obviously. Am I excited for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Fuck yeah, I am. Okay. Would any of you dare to go to Canada and smuggle Kinder eggs on your way back to the border? I don't think you have to smuggle Kinder eggs. Let's see here. Kylo Ren being possessed by Snoke Force Demon would be pretty cool. That'd be something, I guess, make it more interesting. Let's see. You want Snoke to be Darth Plagueis just so we can see them slice Kylo in half. That would be something that'd be cool. But then again, the setup Snoke as Plagueis, they shouldn't have killed him off. They would have had to reveal that at the end of whatever The Last Jedi was originally going to be. Let's see here. Will I get Fallout Miami? Is the DLC for Fallout 4 free? I have the Fallout 4 season pass, so I have to get it anyway. I'm pretty sure I've downloaded it. Marvel better than Star Wars, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, like Marvel, think of it like this. Like Star Wars has got 10 movies over the span of 40 years. Marvel has 20 movies over the span of 10. I've gone and seen every Marvel movie in the theater at least opening weekend, if not opening night. I will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. I don't see any reason to ever stop. Star Wars is the exact same, but they need to recalibrate how they want to release these films. So, hold on here. Okay. Let's see here. I didn't say that I didn't say that Reylo was a good romance. I'm just saying that's what they're leaning towards. Let's see here. Rian Johnson fucked it up on purpose. Why do I think he's attacking the fans? He's attacking the fans because he made the movie for him. He didn't make it for anybody else. He made it for him, which ultimately I understand from like a filmmaker's perspective. You want to make the story that you want to tell. But when it comes to something as iconic as Star Wars, you don't go around and piss in other people's cereal. You know what I mean? Fallout Miami is a mod. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know. Tomb Raider was a good movie. Yeah, I like Tomb Raider quite a bit, actually. Do I think episode 9 will be a copy of ROTJ? No, because ROTJ had a lot of things pop up in The Last Jedi, too. Let's see here. I keep comparing Star Wars to Marvel. I'm talking from franchise to franchise. Rian Johnson has a bigger ego than you. Yeah, he does. Hey, what's going on, Nerd Report? What's going on? Let me make him a moderator. If you're not familiar with Nerd Report here, they come from the website nukethefridge.com, which is a solid website. You guys should go check it out. Let's see here. Is Rian Johnson scared of somebody finding his tweets? I don't think he would tweet anything super bad. Doesn't strike me as a type. But that being said, he doesn't want to give anyone the ammo that could be taken out of context. And that's an actual honest to God fear. That does make a lot of sense. Why Ashoka isn't in the Star Wars movies? I don't know. Maybe she'll be in episode 9. Who knows? Who knows? Star Wars is like a religion. The Last Jedi is like that weird act that that doesn't really hurt anyone, but pisses off or annoys normal worshipers. You know what? I'm gonna argue with you that makes kind of sense. Let's see here. Border Patrol takes that shit seriously. If they caught at least one Kinder egg, they get pissed off and fine you $200 because it's illegal in the US. What the fuck is a Kinder egg? Is that like a Tenga egg? Well, I'm Googling this. Okay, are Kinder eggs illegal in the United States? Technically, Kinder Surprise eggs are banned in the United States by the FDA and the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Surprise eggs consist of milk, capsule. Well, here's the thing: is the Kinder eggs are coming to the United States this year, according to a CNN article from May of. Apparently, they launched in the United States. You can find them now in January this year. So if you want Kinder eggs, you can go ahead and find them. There's that. Let me just double check the Streamlabs page here. If anyone's popped anything on Streamlabs, nope, it's all good. Is the Rey Finn romance dead? The Rey Finn romance is going to be revived in episode 9. Daisy Ridley said that her and John Boyega spend a lot of time together in episode 9, which means that their characters are going to rekindle that romance. So what you're going to have is you're going to have a love triangle. This is seriously stupid too. So it's going to be Rey, Rose, Finn, right? And it's going to be like Rey, Finn, Kylo. And then it's going to be Rey, Kylo, Poe, and maybe Rey, Finn, Poe. And that one could go any way you want to go. It could be they should just the three of them should just fucking get it over with. But yeah, like there's gonna be like a bunch of love triangles. Rose is gonna be left all by herself. So let's see here. It needs to be Rey and Poe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see here. Would I ever watch a Herbie Fully Loaded or Love Bug if I were dared? I've seen those movies. So sure. I mean, I worked at a drive-in when Herbie Rides Again came out, or whatever the fuck one. Was it Herbie Fully Loaded? Was that the one with Lindsay Lohan in 05? Let's see here. Finn and Rose is the worst, and other people want it. No. Well, the thing is, like, they already set that up. That was already the thing. She kissed him. She already said she loves him. His heart is going to belong to Rey, because that's why he was going to abandon the resistance in order to go and find Rey. So that's a love triangle. So yeah, that's how it is. Let's see. The Force Awakens for me was an arrow on a bow pulled back. The TOJ misfired the arrow, shooting into someone else's home. That's a fair analogy. Rey and Poe with Yoda watching as a Force ghost, watching and jerking off, or whatever it is that he would do. Do I think Rose is coming back for episode 9? Yes, I think she's coming back for episode 9. Okay, Herbie Fully Loaded. Yeah, I've seen Herbie Fully Loaded. How is ever insulting the fans a good thing? And the Force being female, those SJWs can force me. The thing is, the Force being female, that's Kathleen Kennedy nonsense. But all men have written the scripts for the movies, so take that for what you will. And we already know that they ignored the story group, so it's fine. The quadruple love triangle is another dumb thing in this new trilogy. Why so many? I don't know, Shidoko. I have no fucking idea, but yeah, that's what it is. So let's see here. It's the only Herbie movie to have a Herbie race. Okay. I don't really care, RJ. I'm sorry. I don't care about Herbie. It's been 13 years. I've suffered through it. I'm okay. Do I think they'll kill Rose to appease fans? They wouldn't dare. If they killed off Rose to appease fans, that would instantly win them back a lot of people. That would, like, if that happened, like, all just like out of the blue, like Admiral Akbar got, man, they would, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Everyone would like lose their shit. There'd be nothing but tweets like, get to the theater now. Rose is dead. And then it would just be nothing but, like, Kelly Marie Tran would be getting lots of love on her Instagram page. You'd see articles like, she's getting an unusual amount of love, but it's misogynistic because they killed off her character. My lighting is fucked. How fucked is it? Oh, yeah. It's this webcam, dude. It's this fucking webcam. Let's take a look here. It's just, goddamn. It's the Logitech. It's so stupid. Come on, give me that. Turn that off. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's the Logitech. They make garbage webcams. Let's see here. SJWs will rage screaming sexist JJ. Maybe. You have a feeling Poe might die and Finn might take his place as the leader. He reached a high point last day. His arc was kind of complete, I guess, except he didn't take over the resistance, and they were clearly leading towards that. Finn is not Force sensitive, so that you don't see how they can have him fight Kylo again. Exactly. But he fought Phasma and he won. Let's see here. If they rebooted the Matrix, would they call it the Matrix rebooted? Maybe. I've heard some rumors about that for years. Poor Uncle Ethan would cry if Rose died. Nah, he would just make a t-shirt to commemorate it and profit off of it. Let's see here. None of the new characters carry any weight. That's actually true, Rory, and that's a problem with storytelling. That the characters don't carry any weight. Like, there's no destiny there. People knew about Luke Skywalker in the destiny, like the prophecy sort of thing. Right. What am I going to fix my background? It is what it is. There we go. I just zoomed in. There we go. I might fuck up now. For some reason, I've been having issues with Logitech and this shit. Let's see here. Finn is a trained fighter, best in his class. Shut up. Do I have any idea of what episode 9 will be? Josh, I don't know. At this point, nobody knows. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Star Wars wasted Benicio del Toro. I completely agree. Although I do believe DJ will probably be back because Benicio del Toro wants to be back. Have I shown my daughter Star Wars? She is 8 months old almost. She doesn't know what she's watching. So no, I haven't yet. Maybe have a background in my symbol of fucking flames. No, I'm good. Ray's mother in episode 9, probably. Oh, really? It's in the novel? Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I am in a zooming because I'm lazy. I'm in a zoom. Jordan Farrell, I have not seen the trailer for your Scooby-Doo fan film. I'm sorry. I know you sent it to me, but I kind of forgot it. Am I a Satanist? No, I'm not a Satanist. I'm not a Satanist. So yeah, let's see. Episode 9, The Force Awakens wins. Prepare for another trilogy. Republic wins. Probably. Do I still have the pillow with my blue avatar on it? It's a gray pillow, but yeah, I've got it. Yeah. Try to turn on autofocus. There we go. I have no idea why. I have no fucking idea why. You know what? I think it's because I'm so far away from this thing. Like if I got closer, it'd look a lot better, but I'm just kind of back a little bit. Let's see here. You're still waiting for the new hero's journey in the Star Wars? Yeah, I don't blame you. What's the significance of Lando coming back? Fan service. Fan service. All right, guys, we got about 4 more minutes. If you guys got any final questions, go ahead and let me know. If you want to pop in any final super chats, now's the time. Those do get top priority because I am a whore. No, that's what I make that abundantly clear. Let's see here. Ray's new lightsaber, double hilt or single? I think they're going to go with single. I will say though, Kylo's lightsaber is fucking dope though, man. Will EA lose the Star Wars rights? I hope so. I really hope so. I am very much hoping that it is. How crazy is my family is remarkably pretty sane. We joke around a lot though. Madison is very good. She's asleep right now. Aggravator. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Sorry. I've been on for a while now. I think I came on at like what time did I come on at? 8:50. So about an hour. I wasn't going to be on here for too long. I said I got to be up early and shit. I just checked my email and it just sent me this email saying like you've got money. And oh, okay. Oh, thank you very much, Thomas. I just got your PayPal. Thank you very much. It was my sister had to pay me back on something earlier today. So I got your email and then but it showed me the first one, which was like $250. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, oh, it's my sister paying me back for when I loaned her money to fix her tires. But no, I thank you very much for that, sir. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll be doing a review of Mission Impossible Fallout. So maybe tomorrow I'll rewatch Mission Impossible 5 and everything. But before I go, let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys seen I've been doing like the movie news stuff, right? So I do want to do these discussions about films. I actually have a lot of fun. I think the last hour was a lot of fun. I love going through the nuances of films and what I see. I'd love to do more of that. So if you guys want to see more of those things, live discussions, I'll use the better camera next time. We can do that. Additionally, I want to do like the movie news. I have more fun kind of just like doing it like in audio form. People have been requesting video again, but it's also like, I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that one. But I also want to do like more film breakdowns, like the film itself, not so much like going into like the theme of the scene where Richard Deckard shot the replicant is, I don't want that, like that kind of whatever, but I like to talk about like the film itself, beginning, middle, end, kind of a deep dive into it if possible. I'm going to be outlining that this weekend as well. Hopefully we'll be starting off that series, those will all be live to the best of my ability. So if you guys want things like that, like let me know, because I don't just want to do movie news and like leave it at that. I want to have a lot of like commentary and shit too. Let's see. Dark City is a far superior film to The Matrix. Well, I mean, it wasn't as like, it was a good movie. It was definitely a good fucking movie. I love Dark City. But it also failed to hit that pop culture relevance that the Matrix did and everything else. But I will say it's a good one. I need to go back and watch it again. Thoughts on Solo? I have a review of Solo up, by the way, Rory. You can go back and you can watch. But the long and short of it is I actually quite liked it. Let's see. So film analysis video streams would be cool. Yeah, I'm thinking more like talk about a movie, talk about the plot, talk about who was in it, the different characters, what the reception of it was, the general plot outline, maybe look at like some trivia tidbits, maybe look at like some interesting stories and try to like, a little bit of a deeper dive. I still need to, what it is I need to format it so then it's not like just kind of like pulling up Wikipedia and like going to town. It's like having a structure, which I think works better for me. But yeah, so I'll be working on guys with that one. Thoughts on Mowgli debuting on Netflix? Yeah, Warner's has no faith in it. But then again, Garrick, when they announced that they were doing a live action Jungle Book directed by Jon Favreau, and then Warner's was going to do Mowgli, and it was going to be directed by Andy Serkis. You're going like, why? What's the point of this one? I mean, yeah, Andy Serkis in terms of mocap is like fucking awesome, and the movie itself looks pretty good, but it's also like I think they realize that it's just not going to have a marketplace. It looks like a darker kids film, and that may not have marketplace inside of what they're doing here. And I think I think it'll do better on streaming, to be honest with you. 13th Floor was better than The Matrix. 13th Floor was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. Hasbro took a hit with The Last Jedi and Solo. I don't know if the Solo toys sold low, but I know they took a hit with The Last Jedi for certain. Have I watched Cloak? Oh, fuck. Oh, Craig. Oh, you bastard. You had to bring it up. I'm trying to go to bed, and you bring up motherfucking Cloak and Dagger. You bring up one of the best goddamn movies. I had that movie recorded off of fucking, I don't know the station. It was Channel 12 when I was a kid, but I remember we're getting a copy of it. My grandmother recorded it for me on VHS, and I would watch it all the goddamn time. And I would fast forward through all the commercials because those are still there. And I know that it was edited for television, but this was the 80s, so they weren't as hardcore, I think. But Cloak and Dagger is a great movie. Dabney Coleman was awesome. You had Fat William Forsythe and the chick with fucking 3 fingers and chloroform, and the kid from was the kid from Flight of the Navigator? It was kid from Flight of the Navigator, right? And like, oh, that movie was great. That's a movie you don't show a young kid, but you show a kid around like 12 or something. Jesus Christ. Yes, A Night of the Mist. Alpha looks terrible. I'm gonna try to go see Fallen Kingdom. Here's the thing. I might sneak off early tomorrow night, go watch because my girlfriend's going to this thing tomorrow with her friend all day. So I gotta watch the baby. And then when she gets home, I'm gonna go see Fallout, and then I might sneak over and go see Fallen Kingdom. Oh, you meant the fucking Marvel series. Oh no, I haven't seen that one yet. I'm talking about the fucking old 1980s movie, man. Look up Cloak and Dagger. That movie is fucking great. Yeah, Brighton. You know what I'm talking about. Buddy. Yeah, the 1984 film. So here we go. It's not another I don't do a lot of clickbait, Queen. I've been talking for an hour about Star Wars. We spent a lot of time talking about Star Wars. Yeah, Henry Thomas was a kid. You can't see Fallout because MoviePass blocked it. They didn't block it. They ran out of money. So there's that. Yeah. The most underrated film. Fuck. What is the most underrated movie? I guess I don't know, man. That's such a loaded question. What is the most underrated film? I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. It's such a weird thing. What is underrated even mean? Like to you, what does it mean? To me, it's man, I don't know. Oh, that's got a good email I need to respond to, but Hot Rod, I feel is probably, if you want to talk comedies, is the most underrated comedy. You could argue like Idiocracy was an underrated comedy, but it's been 11 years. Everyone's seen Idiocracy. Hot Rod, on the other hand, not everyone has seen. But yes, Munich is underrated. Yes. Office Space, you can't really say is underrated because again, it's popular. Monster Squad is better than Last Jedi. 100% agreed. Aggro. Monster Squad is the shit. You know, Monster Squad was the first movie I ever recorded the audio of the film, one half of the movie and one half of the tape, and then the other side of the tape was the other half of the movie, and I would fall asleep every night listening to it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is another excellent movie. Tron Legacy is underrated. Tron Legacy is fucking fantastic, man. Tron Legacy is the shit. Those are all fantastic stuff, man. Manos, The Hands of Fate, better than okay. Let's not go that far. I thought I said overrated. No, I think I was underrated. Right? Was it underrated? You know, I've never seen the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven. I own it, but I've never watched it. Wolfman Has Nards. It's great. The thing is, The Nice Guys was good, but it wasn't as good as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Then again, I think I went into The Nice Guys with my expectation levels like up here, right? Like, because Kiss Kiss Bang Bang hit me out of nowhere in 2005, and I utterly adore that film. So I went into The Nice Guys with that as well, and I watched it with my two younger brothers who were like not into Shane Black. They don't know what he is. Like, they knew that it was the director of Iron Man 3. But they aren't familiar with the work that he's done. So it's kind of a little difficult going into that shit. So there's that. Van Helsing's a guilty pleasure. That's a good movie. So anyway, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fuck off. Here's the thing though, guys. Here's the thing. I'll be up for a little bit, probably chatting in the Discord. If you haven't already joined my Discord, there's a link in the video description. You can jump on in there. I'll probably be in there for a few while I'm finishing up some stuff, and then we can we can keep talking in there a little bit. But as for this, I'm gonna go turn these lights off and open a window because it's fucking hot as hell in here. And thank you guys so much for hanging out for the last hour and some change, talking Star Wars, talking movies. You guys don't realize, but I deal with so much negativity, so much bullshit in the world on the other channel. I love to come here and nerd the fuck out. So even though we may disagree over Star Wars, we may disagree over a lot of things. Thank you guys very much. I really greatly appreciate it. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great night and peace out.